My 7-year-old daughter came home from school in silence. At first, I didn't think much of it. She could have been tired, maybe. But there was something different that day, something I couldn't identify. Have you ever noticed how children sometimes manage to carry a silence that speaks louder than words? In the previous days, everything seemed normal. The morning routine was full of laughter, and she always had something to share when she came back from school. Little adventures, stories about her friends, and the drawings she made in class. But that day, her silence was almost deafening. Many people feel exactly that ... that instinct that something is not right, but they can't understand what. While preparing dinner, I felt an unease growing inside me. I thought about asking her about her day, but decided to wait. Sometimes children need time to process things, but there's a detail that changes everything. When she went to take a bath, I went to pick up her uniform left on the floor of the bedroom. It was then that I noticed something strange in the pocket of her jacket, a carefully folded piece of paper. My heart started to beat faster as I opened the paper. It was a note written with children's letters, but what it said destroyed me. Nobody likes you. I felt a wave of sadness and helplessness. How could they be so cruel to someone so young and innocent? If you've ever experienced something similar, you know what I'm talking about. The pain of seeing your child suffer is almost unbearable. At that moment, I realized I needed to do something. I approached her and carefully asked about the note. Her eyes filled with tears, and she told me about a group of children who left her out, who laughed at her. My heart tightened, but I knew I needed to be strong for her. But there is something they didn't know. My daughter has a resilience that inspires me every day. As she spoke, I realized the strength she had to face it, and how, with a little support, she could overcome this situation. I talked to the teacher, and together we thought of ways to resolve the situation. The school mobilized, and the response was stronger than the bullying. The support from classmates and teachers made all the difference. And here's where things get interesting. My daughter, with her sweetness and strength, found new friendships and gradually began to smile again. I learned that sometimes courage comes from the most unexpected places. It's worth reflecting on this ... how small actions can have such a great impact on someone's life. My daughter taught me about resilience and the importance of listening, even to the silence. I learned that, even when we don't realize it, we are all seeking acceptance and love. If this story touched you, share it with someone who needs to hear it, because together, we can make a difference in the lives of many children out there. In the days that followed, I began to pay more attention to the little details. My daughter, even with her newfound courage, still had moments of hesitation. It was as if she were navigating an unknown sea, but with the certainty that she was not alone. Have you noticed how small gestures can mean the world to someone? A smile, an encouraging look, or just being present, can be anchors in moments of uncertainty. One afternoon, as we walked together in the park, she stopped to watch a group of children playing. "They are my friends now," she said, with a smile that lit up my heart. It was a simple statement, but full of meaning. And in that instant, I realized that what truly matters is the journey and the lessons we learn along the way. The school also became a more welcoming environment. The teacher, sensitized by the situation, began to promote activities that encouraged teamwork and empathy. The children started to understand that every word matters, that every action resonates in someone's heart. And my daughter flourished in this new setting. She became a little leader, someone who others sought out when they needed support or a friendly shoulder. But there is one detail that changes everything. During one of these activities, my daughter made a drawing that left me speechless. It was a representation of our family, with a caption that said, "Love is all we need." The simplicity and depth of that message moved me. She had captured the essence of what I always wanted to teach her, but that perhaps I myself needed to remember. However, like any journey, there were still challenges to overcome. One day, she came home a little downcast. There had been a small argument with a friend, but instead of closing herself off, she came to me and said, "Mummy, can we talk?" That question made me emotional. She was learning to deal with her feelings, to express her emotions, and that was a tremendous progress. As we talked, I realized how much she had matured. She didn't just want to solve the problem, but to understand what had happened. Did I do something wrong? She asked. It was a perfect opportunity to show that sometimes things are not black and white, and that it's important to put oneself in someone else's shoes. Many people feel exactly this: the need to understand before judging, to listen before talking. In the following months, my daughter continued to grow and develop. She participated in a school project that involved helping new students feel welcomed. She dedicated herself with so much care and enthusiasm that, in the end of the school year, she was recognized for her effort. And it wasn't just an official recognition, but also the affection and respect of her peers, who now saw her as someone they could trust. And this is where things get even more interesting. The resilience she developed not only helped her overcome her personal challenges, but also inspired her to help others. She began participating in community activities, always looking for ways to make a difference. Her eyes sparkled with enthusiasm when she talked about the project she was involved in, and I couldn't be prouder. This whole experience made me reflect on the importance of creating an environment where children can be heard and respected, where the dialogue is open and constant. I learned that being a parent is about being there, but also learning to let go, allowing them to explore the world in their own way. Because, in the end, that's how they really grow. If you have gone through something similar, you know the importance of every small step on the path to growth. And maybe, like me, you have learned that true strength comes from vulnerability, from the ability to open your heart to the new and unknown. My daughter taught me that courage is a journey, not a destination. It's worth reflecting on this. Life presents us with challenges, but it also offers us countless opportunities for learning and growth. And sometimes it's the children who show us the way, with their purity and determination. This story of overcoming is a powerful reminder that, with love and support, we can face any adversity. If this story touched you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because together we can make a difference in the lives of many children out there. And who knows, inspire new beginnings and new stories of courage and resilience. In the months that followed, my daughter's transformation was noticeable in every little gesture. She became a constant presence in the lives of her peers, always ready to offer a smile or a word of support. At school, her teacher remarked how she had become an example of empathy and leadership. It was inspiring to see how, despite the challenges, she had found a way to use her experiences to light the way for others. But there's a detail that changes everything. One day, she came home with an idea that surprised me. "Mom," she said, her eyes shining with enthusiasm, "what if we started a help club at school?" The idea was simple but powerful. Create a space where children could share their concerns, support each other, and learn about the importance of respect and friendship. Does this remind you of a situation where something small had a huge impact? I couldn't help but smile at her determination. Together we talked about how we could implement this idea. She suggested that we start with a small group and gradually expand. The school supported the initiative, and in no time, the Help Club became a success. Children of different ages gathered to talk, play, and above all, learn to listen to each other. Every week, my daughter came home with stories about how the club was helping to build new friendships and resolve misunderstandings. It was amazing to see how something so simple was generating such a positive impact. And as a mother, I felt grateful to witness this transformative journey. Have you ever thought about this before? How a small action can trigger a wave of changes? Through the club, she also learned valuable lessons about responsibility and commitment. There were days when things didn't go as planned, but she always found a way to move forward. And even when she faced difficulties, her resilience shone like a light guiding her way. And this is where things get interesting. During one of the club meetings, a new student joined the group. She was shy and nervous, but my daughter, with her natural sensitivity, welcomed her with a warm hug. This simple action broke the ice, and gradually the new student began to share her own stories. It was a touching moment, showing how kindness can open doors and create meaningful connections. Over time, the Help Club became an essential part of the school culture. The teachers noticed a change in the students' behavior, who were now more willing to collaborate and support each other. The school transformed into a more welcoming and inclusive environment, where each child felt valued and heard. But like any journey, there were still challenges to face. One day, my daughter came home worried about a situation in the club. One of the members was going through difficulties at home and needed support. We discussed ways to help, and together, we found a solution. Once again, she showed her ability to face challenges with compassion and courage. This entire experience made me reflect on the importance of creating a space where children can be heard and respected, where dialogue is open and constant. I learned that being a parent is about being present, but also learning to let go, allowing them to explore the world in their own way. Because, in the end, that's how they truly grow. If you have ever been through something similar, you know the importance of each small step on the path to growth. And perhaps like me, you have learnt that true strength comes from vulnerability, from the ability to open your heart to the new and unknown. My daughter taught me that courage is a journey, not a destination. It's worth reflecting on this. Life presents us with challenges, but it also offers countless opportunities for learning and growth. And sometimes it's the children who show us the way with their purity and determination. This story of overcoming is a powerful reminder that, with love and support, we can face any adversity. If this story touched you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because together, we can make a difference in the lives of many children out there. And who knows, inspire new beginnings and new stories of courage and resilience. As I watched my daughter growing up, I realized that her journey was just beginning. And just like her, I was also learning every day, rediscovering the power of love, empathy, and community. It's a journey that has no end, but is full of precious moments that transform us and inspire us to be better. And so we moved forward, hand in hand, ready to face whatever life brings us. Because in the end, what really matters is being together, supporting each other, and celebrating every small victory along the way. And it was with this new perspective that we began to look to the future. My daughter, with her unwavering energy and determination, not only continued to excel in school, but also started to get involved in community causes outside the school environment. She wanted to do more, help more, and that filled me with pride. It's impressive how a child can teach so much about perseverance and love for others. Have you ever felt this way? Inspired by someone unexpected? One day while we were walking around the neighborhood, my daughter stopped in front of a poster advertising a toy drive for underprivileged children. Her eyes lit up, and without hesitation, she decided she wanted to help. We went home, and started sorting out toys she no longer used, but that was still in good condition. It was a simple gesture, but full of meaning. And this is where things get even more interesting. She didn't just want to donate. She wanted to involve her friends as well. Together, we organized a small campaign at the school, encouraging other children to participate. The response was amazing. In no time, we had a pile of toys and books that would fill many children's hearts with joy. The delight and enthusiasm my daughter showed were contagious, and once again she demonstrated to me the power of a simple idea when fueled by love and community. But there's a detail that changes everything. During the delivery of the toys, my daughter encountered a child holding a teddy bear with such affection that it seemed to be his most precious possession. She approached, and in an exchange of glances, something magical happened. They began to talk, and within a few minutes were laughing together as if they were old friends. This moment of genuine connection was a powerful reminder that sometimes what truly matters is the simplicity of an act of kindness. In the following months, my daughter continued to transform into a small force of nature, always seeking ways to positively impact those around her. At home, we started having long conversations about what it really meant to make a difference in the world. She surprised me with her wisdom. "Mum," she would say, "it doesn't matter how small the gesture is. It can always make someone smile." This point deserves our attention, don't you think? And so the help club at school thrived, with more children getting involved each week. The meetings became a safe space where they could express their concerns, share their joys, and find support in each other. Difficult times. The school, which once seemed like a place of challenges, was now an environment of growth and learning, where each child felt part of something greater. My daughter's journey made me reflect deeply on the importance of cultivating an environment of acceptance and empathy, not only at home, but in the community as a whole. We, as adults, often underestimate the impact we can have by encouraging children to be themselves, to listen to their hearts, and to act with kindness. Have you ever thought about that? How our attitudes and words can shape the world around us. As time went by, my daughter began to explore new interests, always with the same passion and dedication. She got involved in artistic activities, discovering a new way to express her emotions and experiences. Paintings and drawings started to fill the walls of our home, each telling a unique story of courage and hope. It was as if each stroke and color were an extension of her soul, reflecting everything she had learned during her journey. And this is where things get even more interesting. During an art exhibition at school, she presented a series of paintings that captured her view of the world. One of them depicted a tree with deep roots and branches reaching towards the sky. The caption simply read, "Growing is dreaming and never stopping believing." This piece touched many hearts, including mine, and showed how art can be a powerful vehicle for transformation and inspiration. While observing people's reactions to her art, I realized that my daughter had found a new way to communicate her message of love and resilience. And it made me think about the power of the stories we tell and how they can change lives. It's worth reflecting on this how each of us has the potential to leave a mark on the world, even through small gestures or words. As we continue to walk together, I am grateful for every moment we spend exploring, learning, and growing. My daughter, with her clear vision and open heart, reminds me daily that life is a series of interwoven stories, each with its own rhythm and purpose. And it is on this journey, with its ups and downs, that we find our true selves and the meaning of being here. And so we move forward, ready to face whatever life brings, knowing that together we can handle any challenge and celebrate every victory. Because in the end, what really matters is the love we share and the stories we create along the way. In the days that followed, my daughter began to show interest in helping not just at school, but also in our community. She was becoming a young leader, a source of inspiration for other children, and even for the adults around her. Her determination to make a difference was like a flame lighting the way for all of us. One day, as we were walking back home, she stopped to observe a group of people organizing a charity fair in the park. It was a community event aimed at raising funds for a local cause. Her eyes sparkled with that curiosity and willingness to participate that I knew so well. "Mum," she said, "can we help too?" And that's how we started getting more deeply involved with the community. Together, we began attending meetings, participating in projects, and offering our help wherever it was needed. My daughter, with her generous heart, always found ways to contribute, whether through a smile, a kind gesture, or an innovative idea. And with that, she taught me the importance of being present, of being active in our own community. But there's one detail that changes everything. During one of these fairs, my daughter met an elderly lady selling small plant pots. They started talking, and the lady mentioned that, to her, each plant represented a new chance, a blossoming hope. That conversation touched my daughter in a special way, and she decided that she wanted to learn more about gardening. On weekends, we started cultivating a small garden in our backyard. It was a modest space, but full of life. With each new plant that grew, my daughter learned about patience, about caring for and nurturing something until it blossomed. "It's like when we care for people," she would say. "Sometimes we just need time and love." This point deserves our attention. How nature can teach us about the art of caring and waiting. And this is where things get interesting. The passion for the garden led my daughter to organize an activity at school, where each student would plant a seed and take care of it throughout the semester. The idea was not only to learn about botany, but also about responsibility and connection with nature. The activity was a success, and the children were delighted to see their plants grow. It was a living lesson about how small actions can lead to significant transformations. Over time, the school garden became a place for gatherings and learning. Teachers and students began to use it as a space for outdoor classes, moments of reflection, and even meditation. The simplicity of the garden brought a new energy to the school, and my daughter was radiant to see how her idea had blossomed so beautifully. But, as always, the journey was full of challenges. One day, a strong storm hit our town and damaged part of the garden. My daughter was devastated to see what had happened, but she quickly recovered, determined to start again. "Mum," she said, "we can rebuild. The plants are strong, just like us." And it was with that resilience that we began to work, restoring what had been lost and planting new seeds of hope. This experience reminded us that, even when we face adversities, there is always an opportunity to start over, to plant new seeds, and hope for the best to flourish. If you have been through something similar, you know how important it is to keep hope alive, even when everything seems to be against us. As the garden bloomed again, my daughter also grew in confidence and wisdom. She started to become interested in how she could use her passion for helping others in her future career. We talked about the possibilities, about how she could integrate her skills and interests into something that truly made a difference. And as she dreamed, I supported her, knowing that every step she took was a step toward her true potential. And so our journey continues. With each challenge we face, with each victory we celebrate, my daughter shows me that life is a constant cycle of growth and renewal. And as we walk together, I know that we are creating a legacy of love, courage, and resilience that will endure for many generations. Because at the end of the day, what really matters is that we are together, supporting each other and building a better world, one small gesture at a time. And that, to me, is the greatest lesson my daughter could teach me. With each passing day, my daughter became more aware of the impact her actions could have on the world. She was determined to make a real difference, and I couldn't help but feel inspired by her passion and determination. One day, she came home with an idea that seemed simple, but had incredible potential. "Mum, what if we create a day of kindness at school?" She was excited, and her energy was contagious. The idea was that, for an entire day, each student and teacher would practice acts of kindness, big or small. It could be a compliment, a gesture of help, or even a smile for someone who needed it. And this is where things get interesting. During the planning, my daughter involved not only her friends, but also the teachers and even the students' parents. It was a true community mobilization, and everyone was willing to participate. When the day finally arrived, the school had a different atmosphere. There was an air of expectation and joy. The students began to share their ideas and practice acts of kindness with each other. Have you ever felt how small gestures can create a wave of positivity? That was exactly what was happening. And by the end of the day, the impact was palpable. The children were more connected, more willing to help each other, and there was an undeniable sense of unity. But there's one detail that changes everything. During the day, my daughter noticed that a classmate was alone, watching everything from a distance. She approached her and, with her usual sensitivity, started talking to her. She discovered that the girl was new at the school and hadn't made any friends yet. My daughter invited her to join one of the activities, and little by little, the girl began to feel more at ease and integrated into the group. It was a touching moment that showed how empathy can break barriers and build bridges. In the days that followed, the spirit of kindness continued to reverberate through the school. The children started greeting each other in the hallways, helping each other with tasks, and forming stronger bonds. My daughter was radiant, seeing how her idea had turned into something so meaningful. And for her, this was just the beginning. She began to think of other ways to promote positive changes, both in the school and in the community. One day, while we were talking about her ideas, she surprised me with a proposal. "Mom, what if we did something to help the environment?" She was concerned about environmental issues and wanted to find a way to contribute. Together, we started researching sustainability projects that we could implement at school, and with the support of the teachers, we managed to organize a recycling campaign that involved the entire school community. The campaign was a success, and my daughter was thrilled to see how small actions, like properly separating waste, could have such a big impact. She became a true environmental advocate, always looking for ways to reduce waste and promote awareness among her peers. And I, as a mother, couldn't be more proud of her initiative and leadership. But, as always, there were challenges along the way. One day, She came home frustrated because some people were not taking the campaign seriously. It was an opportunity to talk about perseverance and the importance of not giving up in the face of difficulties. Mum, she said, maybe they just need more time to understand. And with that patience, she continued to work, always believing she could make a difference. And this is where things get even more interesting. Over time, my daughter began to realize that the true impact of her actions went beyond immediate results. She was planting seeds of change, inspiring other children to follow her example and become agents of transformation. It was as if each act of kindness, each act of leadership, created ripples that spread throughout the community, touching lives in ways she never imagined. This whole experience made me reflect on the importance of nurturing children's potential, encouraging them to dream big and believe in their abilities. Because in the end, it is these dreams that shape the future, that create a fairer and more compassionate world. My daughter taught me that, even amidst challenges, there is always room for hope and change. It's worth reflecting on this. How each of us has the power to positively influence the world around us, even through small gestures. And, as we walk together on this journey, I know we are building a legacy of love and compassion that will last for generations. Because in the end, what truly matters is the difference we make in the lives of others. And that, to me, is the greatest lesson my daughter could teach me. One day, during a walk around the neighborhood, my daughter and I passed by an empty space that used to be a playground. It was now neglected, with broken toys and an air of abandonment. She stopped, looking around with a thoughtful expression. "Mum, why doesn't anyone take care of this place anymore?" Her question echoed in my mind, and I realized there was an opportunity to transform that space into something special again. We decided to do something about it. My daughter, with her characteristic enthusiasm, suggested that we mobilize the community to revitalize the park. We started planning, and soon we were at the neighbors' houses, talking about the idea and inviting them to join us. Have you ever noticed how a single initiative can bring people together around a common purpose? The response was surprising. Entire families were willing to help, and in no time, we had a dedicated group committed to transforming the park. On weekends, the space was filled with life, with everyone working together. Children were painting fences, adults were fixing the toys, and even the grandparents contributed with their experiences and stories. It was a true community effort where each person did their part. And this is where things get even more interesting. During one of these working mornings, my daughter noticed a boy who seemed out of place, hesitating to join the group. She approached him with a welcoming smile, and within minutes, they were laughing and painting together. This simple gesture not only integrated the boy, but also reinforced the idea that everyone there was welcome and important. As the weeks went by, the park began to come to life again. New plants were planted, a colorful mural was painted by local artists, and even a small community garden was created. My daughter, with her tireless spirit, was always at the center of activities, encouraging others and celebrating each small achievement. Have you ever experienced that? The feeling of seeing something flourish from your efforts and everyone's collaboration. Finally, the day of the park's reopening arrived. It was an exciting celebration with music, food, and lots of smiles. The children ran and played while the adults chatted and appreciated the result of so much work. My daughter was radiant, seeing how her vision had turned into reality, and I, as a mother, could not be prouder. This project taught me a valuable lesson about the power of community and how, together, we can achieve what seemed impossible. My daughter showed me that sometimes what we need is just someone to take the first step, to inspire others to believe and to act. And that's what she did, with her courage and determination. In the following days, the park became a meeting point for the community, a place where people gathered not only to play, but also to share moments and create new memories. And, seeing my daughter interact with her friends, I realized that she was learning an even more important lesson, that true leadership comes from serving others. But there's one detail that changes everything. During one of those afternoons in the park, my daughter approached me with a new idea. "Mum," she said, "what if we created a book club here in the park?" She wanted the space to also be a place of learning, where children could explore new stories and expand their horizons. I couldn't help but get emotional with her vision and desire to continue making a difference. We started planning the book club, and soon we had a little outdoor library filled with books donated by community members. The weekly meetings became a success, with children of all ages gathering to listen to stories and discuss their literary adventures. My daughter, always enthusiastic, led the sessions, encouraging her friends to dream big and never stop learning. This entire experience made me reflect on the importance of nurturing children's natural curiosity and creating spaces where they can grow and explore. My daughter showed me that, with love and support, we can create a world where everyone has the chance to shine. And that, to me, is the greatest lesson she could teach me. As we continue on this journey, I know that every step we take together is building a brighter future, not just for my daughter, but for the whole community. And as I look to the horizon, with all the possibilities that the future holds, I feel grateful to be part of this story of love, courage, and transformation. And so we move forward, ready to face whatever life brings us, knowing that together we can overcome any challenge and celebrate every victory. Because in the end, what really matters is the love we share and the stories we create along the way. And that, to me, is the true essence of life. In the months following the creation of the book club, my daughter continued to surprise everyone with her tireless energy and desire to make a difference. At each meeting, she brought new ideas to make the sessions even more engaging. One day, she suggested that the children write their own stories and share them with the group. This proposal sparked a wave of creativity, and soon the club meetings were filled with unique and exciting narratives. But there's one detail that changes everything. One of these stories, written by a shy child who barely spoke during the meetings, captured everyone's attention. It was a story about friendship, courage, and overcoming obstacles, which deeply touched those who heard it. My daughter, with her attentive eye, noticed the sparkle in the author's eyes and encouraged her to keep writing. This moment made me realize how often we just need someone to believe in us to discover our true potential. As the book club flourished, my daughter also began to show interest in other forms of artistic expression. She enrolled in a local theater workshop, where she discovered the transformative power of the performing arts. Soon, she was involved in rehearsals and performances, always seeking new ways to convey her ideas and feelings. Have you ever felt how art can be a window to the soul, allowing us to explore and better understand the world around us? One day, after a particularly emotional performance, she came home with a new vision. "Mum," she said, "what if we put on a play for the community?" The idea was to use theatre as a means to bring people together, telling stories that resonated with their experiences and challenges. With the support of friends and family, we began to plan the event, which soon became a collaborative project, involving people of all ages and backgrounds. And this is where things get interesting. During rehearsals, my daughter showed a natural ability to lead and inspire others. She encouraged each participant to give their best, creating an environment where everyone felt valued and part of something special. The day of the presentation arrived, and the community theatre was packed with eager spectators. The play was a success, eliciting laughs, tears, and warm applause from the audience. In the days that followed, the impact of the play reverberated throughout the community. People began talking about the messages that had touched their hearts, and many expressed a desire to participate in future projects. My daughter, always visionary, was already thinking of new ways to use theatre and art to promote empathy and understanding. Have you thought about this before? How can art be a powerful bridge between different worlds and perspectives? Through these experiences, I learned that the true power of community lies in its ability to unite around a common purpose. My daughter showed me that with passion and determination, we can overcome barriers and create spaces where everyone has the chance to shine. And, as a mother, I feel eternally grateful to witness this incredible journey. As we continue to explore new horizons, I know we are building a legacy of love and compassion that will endure for generations. My daughter, with her open heart and curious mind, inspires me daily to believe that a better future is possible, one small gesture at a time. And that, to me, is the true essence of life. And so, we move forward, ready to face whatever life brings, knowing that together we can overcome any challenge and celebrate every victory. Because, in the end, what really matters is the love we share and the stories we create along the way. And that, to me, is the true essence of life. Before you leave, do 2 things now. Subscribe to the channel and activate the bell to receive the next messages. And share this video with someone who needs to hear this today. To continue, watch the next video. It is already in the cards and also in the description.